had like 2 days in the prologue. We're live, by the way. Isaac, Isaac, Isaac Newton coming in.
Hello. Hello there. Good morning. Good
Is there?
afternoon.
Nah, man. I think it's been. I think the last time I role played with you, you were in Middle-earth and I was in Norman, and we hung out for the night.
Hmm. Yeah. No, actually, that was I think, fuck. Yeah. I mean, I remember that. Yeah. But we also, I believe we RP a little bit with like the end-ish of Contagion. You know, when you and Wilo were doing that whole like redneck RP. I can't remember what characters you guys were playing. It was with the
Uh,
Black Hand.
right, right. Yeah. My bad. The kid, yeah, Black Hand and Kidder Nation. Yeah, my bad.
We met like for like 3 hours.
I was so
Yeah.
excited for that too, man. I was like, I get to role play with Isaac and Shifty Animal. This is gonna be the footage. Like, the content's gonna write itself. This is gonna be great. And then, yeah, very
Yeah,
short-lived.
very short. That was a that was a big fat rip.
God, man. Like, why? I
I
just,
don't know.
I understand the need for revenge, but come on.
I just think it would have been cool if we were at the big old like showdown, the big old siege showdown. Even if we were like used as bait, you know.
Yeah.
I think that would have been really cool. Um, but I mean, there was other stuff we were trying to do with the whole Gorka kind of situation that we were unfortunately not able to do. Um, if you want me to go into detail about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, sure, if you want to. I'm just making sure your voice is
Is it good? Fantastic.
working.
But
So
I
what happened
mean,
in Gorka?
so you of course know Miss Rose, amazing Miss Rose. Um, so she had that whole like little community in Gorka, and I think it was at the end of the prologue. They're like moving around, so you know, Black Hand 2.0, doing what it does best, terrorizing people.
Yeah.
Tries to go over there with this newfound alliance that thought was, was pretty solid. Obviously, it was not. And we go over there. We essentially pretty much stick. I believe stick whoever was there up. Like I think it was police and someone else. I'm not sure who, but we pretty much go over there with like there had to be like 20 people, 15 or 20 people, and
Yeah.
um, of course there was like five of the Black Hand mischiefs, and then there was the coalition led
Cute,
by Mr. Guts himself.
Cooterlition,
Um,
baby.
Cooter Nation. I'm sorry, I could not compose myself when I met you guys, and I'm like so mad about that because
Yeah.
like
Did you see that? I just did a video of it's got you in it where I walked into the church as Cooter because I'm his character. Well, I'm under the suspicion that somebody has a broken leg,
hmm,
and you had Alana message me on the radio saying, "Yeah, some dude's got a broken leg here in Cooter Nation," which was Chinoris, and he's in the church. That's like your favorite spot, so you got to come fix his leg up. And my
hmm.
character is like, yeah, I mean, add a character, then character. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go help this guy out. show up and you're there with Shifty, not Shifty. You're there with Fluffy, I think.
Um, I think it was, um, I think Shifty came later.
Yeah,
Um, I think it was, I want to say, I think it was Fluffy, and then I also had Spicy there as well.
yeah, it was spicy. It was
Those
spicy,
two guys.
and
Yeah,
you
those.
were hiding perfectly behind that little concrete casket. And then I
Trying to
came in
place.
there and like and seen the place empty, and it's like, what? Where? What? Like, where's the fucking fish biting? Where's the fire at? And then boom, you come around the corner, and it was magic. Man, god damn, I wish Black Hand 2.0 had lasted at least a week
I mean, it
from when
theoretic,
I joined. I'm sure you had
right?
other shit.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, and I that totally caught me off guard. And I mean, that was kind of like the second time I actually ever led like a kind of RP group. So, I mean, I'm not saying like I knew it was gonna happen or anything, but like there was signs that I wish as a character I picked up before going into that I look
Yeah,
back and I watch that kind of that video and I watch other people's videos that I'm like, shit, why didn't I see that earlier? Like you know how you get that feeling, your gut feeling when you get into like certain situations where you're like,
right.
this ain't good, and then and it's like it's actually not good. Kind of
Yeah,
like one of those things,
it's like hindsight 2020.
right? And
Ugh. Why did I
I think,
agree to meet 20 people on a rooftop? I only have four people.
yeah. Was the biggest. I feel like that was the biggest red flag because, like, I feel like the suspicion started when they said that, like, over radio, and this, I don't think you were with us for this, but they said over radio, they're like, oh, yeah, we're the guy who killed one of our people. I think that's the story.
Yeah.
I'm like, makes a little bit of sense. And then, like, 10 minutes later, and I'm like, so, according to my calculations here, Zeleno's like probably like a good 15, 20 minute run or so if you're,
Right.
good at navigating. And so that was like, hmm, something's going on here.
Yeah, dude, that was quick. It went.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, all of a sudden it was 20 deep.
But the whole thing with like us essentially raiding Rose's kind of compound where she was, which was like I believe outside of Zelenograd. The thing is, people like to think that we kind of tortured them all and shit, which we
Mm.
did somewhat, but
Did you take
we
any?
also had
I'm
what?
sorry.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, no, no.
Did you take any
But
lives?
no, 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 no.
Wow.
I
Wow.
had that kind of mindset, like I didn't want to be kind of like a scumbag villain, you know. I kind of wanted to keep the whole Black Hand tradition alive.
You wanted to
So
talk. You wanted somebody to spread the word.
right. So, like, we would do the whole Black Hand signature, cut off a finger, and let them go. Like, we spared their life. And then the whole mindset was, like, if we ever saw them again, then that maybe is when we sort of, take them out to dinner or kill
Yeah.
them. But, like, I um, never really, I kind of wanted to give people a chance to survive, you know.
Yeah.
I
Because it.
think, especially, what's sorry?
But no, no, it was a mute character that executed everybody in the black can that was on at that time at the rooftop.
Well, here's the whole story behind that. So, like I said, we have to go all the way back to when we went over to this place with the coalition. So, a lot of people like to interpret that we did kind of most of the torture, but there was this quote unquote guy who was undeciding on who to be a part of, the Coalition or the Black Hand, which we ultimately figured out was a part of the Coalition. Ultimately, he was just kind of like a spy for them, I guess.
Uh,
And so Charlie, who the leader of the Black Hand, aka me, so I kind of wanted to put him through tests. So essentially, he did more of the torturing of, I believe it was Bailey,
yeah.
than any of us. I don't think we left a finger on Bailey. We just took her. We just kidnapped her. And so he's the one, I believe, who like chopped her finger off and everything and all that shit. And and then we ultimately go and torture her counterpart, which I can't remember the username of who it was, but that's when we kind of like um, tried to do like mind games with them. So like what I would do is I would set like a landmine in any sort of location in the room in whatever direction that person went.
Yeah.
It would ultimately be a guessing game. Obviously, you can hear where the landmine's going, but I thought that was a cool like torture method or something. Obviously, it didn't work, but um, for video's sake and content's sake, I wanted to show like what kind of mindset this Charlie guy was trying to get at, like what kind of
Well,
fucked up mind games.
Charlie, but yeah, man. Between God, I want to say Charlie was your second best character you've had so far, in my
Mm.
opinion.
Yep. I think he's probably the best. I don't think I can, or I've had the opportunity to bring a character like that out yet. I think he's the best that I've done. And I mean, I couldn't have done it without any of those cool guys that were a part of my group, whether it was Spicy or, um, I'm sorry if I don't know names, but like, I know, who the fuck else? I know Fluffy, I think was there.
Yeah,
Um, just all those guys, I don't
yeah.
think I could have did what I did with them. Even Earwax, who that's a story in itself. um,
It just makes me wonder. I mean, and I'm not trying to get nicky picky about the rules, but
mm.
how does a mute convey that the Black Hand tortured her?
Well, I'm not pointing fingers at like anybody. I don't want to do that at all. But my more question is, how can um, a mute who theoretically knows that like this person kind of tortured her, but this person is also part of the coalition. So like, how would a mute person theoretically instantly accuse the Black Hand of torturing this? Because that was like their whole main reason of like murdering us all.
Right,
Was
it was execution right down the line.
Yeah, and that was like their whole ploy. Like, oh, you butchered Bailey, which I was like trying. I feel like I was trying to say something, but like there's so many fucking shouting, so much whatever.
Oh, you got 20 people talking in here at once. It's impossible at that point to even
Right.
have a scene, much less a back and forth.
And that's another thing. I was at that point in like RP where I was like, bro, just fucking shoot me already. Like even
Yeah,
out of character, I was like, there's so many fucking people, and I'm not gonna be able to get a chance to defend myself or anything like that. Just fucking shoot me. And I
right.
and I think I say that in RP. I'm like, if you're just gonna do it, just do it.
Yeah, because they shot your legs up first, and then there was a little bit
R-
of a conversation.
Right. And then I think another premise, which I get the premise, like, oh, we raided fucking Gorka's new compound or whatever. But like, here's the thing, they also did the same exact thing, but they also destroyed their cars. They fucking went through and looted all their shit.
Mm,
So it's like, do they actually get the right to actually like shoot you? You know,
Right.
is
I
that
get
even a reason?
Charlie kind of reminded me. And I'm just gonna say this, man. Charlie kind of reminded me of the new Batman with
Oh,
Robert Peterson. If he
right.
had been a tad more uh, if he had less rules, let's put it that way. Kind of reminded me of that because he kind of talked in this Edgar Allan Poe kind of tone of everything's dark,
Mm.
everything's uh this fucking ravens flying out my ears. Uh, he was cool in that sense. Like he always had this one. You could tell he was focused,
Mm.
but he was always a step ahead in his conversation and whatever he said to you. And God, I just put out a teaser, not to plug myself here, but I put out a teaser for the Cooter videos like a month ago, and
Yeah.
um I got a lot to break down because I was like, man, this teaser's 10 minutes long, and you know how YouTube is now. I mean, people's attention spans. It's like, God damn, you can't do anything unless it's gold for 30
Yeah.
minutes. So it's like, God, I could put that in there, but I don't want to. I want to save that for something big. Like I need a PC to comprehend what what happened with 'cause that was great, and that's why I was so disappointed when we got it executed there on the rooftop because it was like, God damn, I get to roleplay with Isaac Newton, shifting animal. Why? It writes itself.
Yeah, and
Like we
hats
had
off.
we had no boring moment.
No, no, we didn't. And that was, and you, I think what was funny is like we went over there, or you remember this. I'm pretty sure you guys remember this, but like we went over to that little community on the docks of Cherno just to harass with them, and we conveniently find like every single one of them just there, and they just come out one by one. Like we grab this one guy, handcuff him and fucking took him into this fucking room. And then later we hear footsteps outside again. Fucking go out, grab this other guy, put him in the room, and then another one and another one
Yeah.
until there was like four people and in one fucking room, including Wila's character. And I think the whole and all those people I think um, would have survived if if people didn't try to like perceive their ego, you
If
know,
they if they
into
valued
things.
yeah, if they valued their life.
Right. Like who was it? There was this one guy who was amongst there's actually two of them. And the other two were pretty smart. Wila and the other one were smart. Were great, great. They RP'd like they should. Everything went smoothly. But the other two, I feel like they let their out of character ego get the best of them, and that's what resulted in their death. Like we would tell this, I think I don't know if I have the video, but we would tell this one guy like, "Hey, shut the fuck up, stop being so fucking cocky and all this shit,"
Yeah.
and he wouldn't shut up. So it's like, I'm sorry to say it, but you kind of like walked yourself into this situation
Oh no.
and you screwed
Wyla,
yourself.
yeah, she streamed it and I watched it the next day and I was thinking, "Oh, Jesus Christ. This is you're getting you're getting a good circumstance." And here's the
Mm,
thing, when people bitch about, oh, there's no role play happening. Well, when it comes to you, when that role play comes to you and it's
mm,
fucking heavy and dark and whatever, now's your opportunity to embrace the role play, not
mm,
to, act like that like it's a video game.
Right.
That's the whole reason we're here. you know.
Yeah. And I feel like I gave them, opportunity. I gave people, every person I've encountered, every person I've, kind of held up in that whole time period. I think I gave them a fair, or we gave them a fair, like, chance to get out of it.
Oh, for sure.
Like with Wyla, like our whole intention was gonna pretty much be like, oh yeah, we're gonna torture Wyla or whatever, and that'll be that. But like we kind of like tested her with all these like little questions, and then we kind of like, well, I think we were kind of confused because like she was saying the opposite, and that's
Hmm.
what we kind of wanted in our group.
Oh
So
yeah.
like, um, and I think we were and a good hats off to her. Like we were so confused with what our responses were because we weren't expecting anything like that. And when she like popped out with I can't even remember what she said, but with those kind of like answers, it like I said, it kind of caught us off guard, and
R-
that's good RP, I think.
yeah, it is. And she sold Cooter out in a way, but he was dumb enough not to. And that's the whole thing about playing characters. He was dumb enough not to see through it.
Yeah,
With the whole, somebody's gonna break a leg at the church, and then but God, just the opportunity, man, that came there was. We were deep. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I don't care if it's meta. We were DMing each other like right after that, saying, "Oh my God, we're
right. No.
we're this is we're RPing right now with fucking Newton and Shifty Animal. We're in the Black Hand, like we're like giddy schoolgirls." And then the fucking rooftop.
The incident, and I think I was also like thinking about that too. Like I got these new people I can like do stuff with now. This is gonna be great. We're gonna try and figure out all this cool stuff we have planned. Like we had other stuff planned, especially like unfortunately with the whole like Rose situation and how her story ended. Like with that whole situation, the next days, I had to like tell this story. So this was like I think the day of the whole rooftop, and it was like in the afternoon, and I just get and taps off to Rose, and she was like, she just sends me this radio message while I'm doing other stuff with Spicy, and she's just fucking furious. And her cars are trash. Like all of her cars, everything in her place is trashed. And so Charlie sees this as like, okay, she's pissed. The cards that I have dealt are in place,
Yeah.
and the cards that I'm going to deal are in place. Now, this is how we do it. Like we have Bailey, we can use her to get to Rose, and so we're gonna have this whole thing with the coalition where we're gonna meet on this like rock in the middle of like this like ocean between like an island and like the coast of Chernarus, and it was gonna be like some super cinematic fucking scene,
Right.
and like we had it all pictured out, and then ultimately we find out Rose has died because of the tower, and we were like, oh, and we were saying this in RP in like a party, and we were like, oh, fuck, man, this would have been such a cool RP. We could have had Rose here.
Yeah.
Maybe there was a gun battle or something,
Right.
and that would have been so fucking cool. But like ultimately, her story ends, with the the tower ending her life. But you gotta move on from that.
What led to the mute character? I can't remember.
Um, so I with that We have to go all the way to the beginning of Charlie. Um, I think we have to go, like I said, we have to literally go. So my first character was Shane Deacon. He was the leader of the Wolves at the time. He gets fucking absolutely sledded down by the tower, and that's the end of the Shane Deacon. So then I'm thinking, well, this kind of blows, and I'm pretty mad at how I died. So I'm gonna take 2 days off and kind of recuperate, and then go back into it. So I take 2 days off, and then I'm like, hey, let's make this Charlie guy as kind of like a throwaway character, and that was like my first initiation. And then obviously, as I progress forward and I meet people, I kind of created this whole little background story, put it on, We That Remain characters.
Hmm.
Here we go. New story, new everything. And so I believe I spawned in Severograd, funnily enough, and I'm walking, I believe, up to the camps uh, outside of Severograd, and it's such ironic. It's so ironic, and I just see like five dudes fully decked out, fucking to the teeth, just with a bunch of shit,
So,
and I'm like,
in
fuck,
hindsight, that's the tower.
yeah. And funnily enough, that red armband that they wore through the rest of the season was our color, like our armband that we wore.
Hmm.
And right when they killed us all is when they switched to that, which I thought was pretty ironic. And so I find them, they're like, "Who the fuck are you?" And I'm like, "Man, I just got to these lands, and I'm sweating. I'm sweating my ass off because like I
Yeah.
don't know what the fuck's gonna happen." And they're like, "Oh, well, you take care." So I'm like, "Whew, sweaty one."
And just to hit a subplot here.
Yeah.
What do you think made the tire so successful in the last season? 'Cause I mean, it had to be activity, right?
Mhm. I think the biggest thing that made the tower so successful is they were implemented, they were indented in everybody's story
Right.
in some way, shape, or form. Like, even if that character's faction was like just vibing, chilling on the other side of the map, you still heard of this big armored fucking group over in Severograd that have been putting in work, hauling ass. I think that, as well as them showing their presence around the map, is what made people start turning heads and looking at this group as like, holy shit, what's going on over here?
Yeah.
I think
So
that's what made it
because
very big for them.
it was kind of like a main story. You got so and so whatever plays out. You had Stephen French, I think at first, and then it kind of sidelines down. It kind of sidelines down to where now you have all these little different groups that have some kind of piece of tower in them, some kind of story with the tower going on, alliance or usually alliance to where they take care of somebody for them.
Right.
And it seemed like a reactionary group that got more buzz. I don't know. They had to have been active though. That's my only. That's the only thing I can think of is man. They had to have been active for every day. Somebody had to
Yeah.
have been active every day to
Mm-hmm.
keep up with what the hell was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
activity, in my point of view, is what makes a very successful. Because I think the Towers the last time we had a group that was like hate them or love them. Uh, those guys are involved in something. You're always going to hear their name somewhere.
Mhm.
So I just think activity and maybe free time plays a role in that.
I think in some way, shape, or form, they've whether the people that were a part of it like it or not, I think they kind of changed RP for Without Remain, and I think it's like changed to something a little bit more different than it was.
Can
If
you
that makes any sense.
yeah, oh, no, sure.
So like,
Can you explain that?
yeah, I think so. Comparing to like last or the iteration before Contagion, um, when Lonely Roads was still a thing, everything like that. Before I met these people like Winter, Spectre, and all these guys, and I didn't know any of these guys at the time at all. Playing through that iteration, um, you had kind of communities that were like you knew who was peaceful and you knew who was like evil and you knew like who to go to and who not to go to.
Hmm.
But like when you have Tower, um, I think it made people RP and out of character be like, do we actually like these guys or are these guys actually cool or are they actually bad? And I think that caused a lot of confusion
Right.
that led over to like Bastion with the Blackwoods and Indian Trading Company, and I think that's still kind of like indented in the server now. Like now, people, I feel like I've seen more people play these characters that are like, oh hey, I'm a good dude, I'm a great dude, I'll help you out, and then as time progresses, fuck you,
Hmm.
everybody dies,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah. Blackwoods was supposed to be this. I don't know what it was supposed to be, but I got kicked out of there in my last character, and I barely. Yeah, here's the thing. They were currently at war with Golden Era, and
Yep,
I took a prisoner from Golden Era,
I heard all about that. Yep.
brought him back to Blackwoods, and then went out on a hunting trip with Ryan El Gringo. Love that
Mhm.
guy. I come back, and all of a sudden I get 6 guns pointed at me,
Oh God.
and it's a standoff because of I whispered some shit to Joella, whose character, by the way, was already hallucinating and was crazy. It was like
Yep.
a matter of time before you look at the flowers, kind of thing.
Mhm.
And I was like, wow, you're gonna kick me out over that?
Bastards.
Yeah. So it was that's probably the most I even God, that's the most I even got into it last season. But it just came down to every single season. Um, if you're not fighting with another group, if there's no current day drama with that other group, you're gonna find some kind of drama in your group, and
Mhm.
somebody's gonna die. Somebody's gonna over the littlest thing, and
Right.
it'll be justified. And if it goes to a mod or DMs, it'll be justified in some way or another because you're gonna have all these witnesses that agree with uh, player A,
Mhm.
and that's the thing. It last season felt like a faction war of sorts, and if you were not actively hunting or engaged with the other faction, it felt like you were engaged within the groups with the members within. If anybody was suspicious, it felt like
Mhm. Yeah, and that's
they were subject.
and yeah, and I felt like that too. I definitely felt like just because, hey, Jimmy's friends with Golden Arrow. He just trades with them, from time to time, and then he like went to, and this reciprocates to Golden Arrow as well. But I feel like, and then Jimmy goes to Blackwood, and he says, "Oh hey, I traded with Golden Arrow," and then he's instantly, like a hostile, and that's that reason to kill him
So you get the
and
guns.
end his story. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
That's
I
not
definitely
that's
felt
not a
like that
big
too.
enough reason. Yeah, you got to give me more.
Right,
That
and
that
I feel like there's a lot of times where just because of that lighter reason, a lot of people's stories ended the way they did.
indeed, indeed. It's not justification. It's just not. It's not.
Mm.
it's it's like, man, the thing I love is leaving people alive like you did with
Mhm.
Charlie.
Yeah,
You
I do
leave
too.
people, yeah, you give people development. You give people a reason to kill you or a reason to want to interact with you again.
Mm.
First time that you tied them up or tortured them or had an interaction with them or what, morale could change between that and 3 days. I mean, it's days. That's what
Yeah.
opens up the books. That's when you start getting a novel. It's
Mhm.
not just meeting somebody and instantly saying, "Well, you did so and so to this, so we're gonna kill you."
Yeah.
That ends everything. Chapter's closed.
Mhm.
You have nothing to go off of. Now, every now and then, I do agree that some people, like Black Hand, the first Black Hand, probably they made a big impact early on
Mhm.
in the season. So when they did die, it wasn't surprising because
Mhm.
you heard about them from other people, and the only reason you
Yeah.
heard about them from other people is because they left people alive that they took captive.
Mhm. They should have. I feel like, and this is from like um, a Charlie perspective. I feel like the Charlie character should have died earlier than he did, because of
Yeah.
just with how some of the craziest shit that um, that we did. Um, but then I learned a lot of shit from being in that kind of like thing. Like I learned not to get too attached to characters because like I took it very hard when Charlie fucking died because I got so fucking attached to that character due to the fact that I lived so long and I was like, fuck, you know?
Yeah. God, and it was heating up too.
Yeah, and I just um I was
Now, Charlie didn't technically kill anybody.
no. I mean, theoretically, uh, he did kind of like kill Knox, but like I don't like to think he killed Knox. I feel like Charlie um, thought about his people and wanted to test his people if they pulled the trigger. So
Hmm.
theoretically, I think Charlie didn't kill anybody. He sort of let his people do that for him,
Yeah.
just to see if they would actually do it, just to see if he could be like Winter was with the group, and I think he did an okay job at that. Honestly, Winter
No,
takes the cake.
for you
But
to even try to, it's a lot of ambition, and many people may not think this. Uh, they may not understand it, but I think there's a lot of ambition in the same season to go in and try to awaken a group that had died and try to awaken it
right,
into another thing. It's takes a lot of ambition.
it's cool. I think like I said, I appreciate all those people that part in that, and all those people who wanted to join me and be a bad guy.
Right.
whatever ways we met them. And I appreciate those guys a lot um, for that, for giving me the opportunity to lead them into something like that. Um, whether it was, like Spicy, Ransack, even like, as much as it is to say, even the people that probably hated me for, you know, playing that role, choosing the bad side. But at the end of the day, um, I gave people opportunities to change
Live.
Charlie, and none of them did. None of them changed him.
Yeah. Like change my
Hell,
mind.
I stuck with Camp Freedom for like 3 months trying to expect them to change Charlie's ways, but um, I gave them opportunities, and a few of them tried. Um, but I feel like it was too late. I feel like the
Yeah.
people that should have been there and should have, like, I guess, tried to help him were too late.
All
And
right.
honestly, I feel like Norman and Wila's character was really special to Charlie, and then to find out Wila's character kind of killed Norman, I, I think that I had to play that out as like
She did.
nobody cares about Charlie, No, everybody's like,
Nobody has any care of human life. That's for sure.
yeah. And so when that's ultimately like, yes, Charlie was like an inside man for the Black Hand during that whole Metal Lurk situation, but I feel like if Norman and Wise character stayed around, and like kind of looked after Charlie, I feel like it would have definitely turned out different. But ultimately, you guys die, and then I have to like make this quote unquote getaway out of
Yeah.
there.
Well, it was tricky because all
Hmm.
of a sudden, while I went from day to day, and I think at the time, um, I wasn't even working, so I was like 24/7.
Hmm.
And then she went from playing every single day to only playing Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. And it was like, man, so much can happen in a week, and so much happened in a week that by the time she got back, it was like, hey, the character you knew before is no
Are you going
longer
somewhere?
here.
Well, get me some more cokes for tomorrow.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was like the character from a week ago had development. He's been around the map, so to speak.
Yeah.
So, her terrible decision to kill Norman definitely led to the intolerance of having Charlie around the hotel.
Yeah. And then there's like that whole what the fuck was it? It was like was Shattered, and then in that whole little community down, where we had that boxing match or whatever, where
Oh yeah,
um, Rose got her shit rocked.
yeah.
um, there's that whole incident. I'm sure you've heard that from a lot of people. Um, about this guy showing up to the gate with a broken leg.
I got it on
um,
stream. Yeah, I was there.
oh, you were? Okay.
Yeah,
So, yeah, and I think that also was another thing that caused Charlie to become more drawn to the Black Hand, was like, hey, I just got shot, like, and we were trying to emphasize this. So they had to shoot me twice in the leg, right, for this to actually work out. So I get shot twice in the leg with a 308 round, and so I'm hobbling, and so like I said, unfortunately, our Daisy has like a fucking timer for broken legs. So
mm.
I'm literally spending like 30 minutes with a broken leg, wobbling all the way to their front gate, trying to coerce these guys to come out, which they ultimately do, but not the way we wanted.
Yeah.
But if it was the way we wanted it to be, because this was after Father Vlad, this priest guy dies, and my whole thing was like, oh, I went down to Cherno with Father Vlad to, as a peacekeeper, and that was like the whole story we were going by. Um,
Yeah. Those people
and
were
we had,
snakes.
and and the funny thing is, like, that was a good story. I thought it was a good story, but they weren't taking none of it. But if it worked, and 16 Black Hand people just like waiting in fucking trees, ready to pounce on these people, and if it worked,
Yeah.
oh my god.
I think they had to have meted because it was like one day everything's cool. It was south of the dam, Middle Earth. I know which base you're talking about. It was led
Yeah.
by AE something for life, uh, and
Yep.
oh, God, I forget her name. But people are coming in every day, and yeah, there was a lot of good stuff going on there. A lot of resources coming in, and all of a sudden one day, their group Discord just goes silent, and then I'm out there on my own character exploring, and I found the other characters, the leaders, all
Yep.
the way over there at Balota, making a base on the shore. I'm thinking, God damn, we went from being a family to, all of a sudden you don't. I mean, it's all role play. It's like, fuck.
I'm just wondering how they knew about Father Vlad's death, because like that was like our whole story that we were going by. Like, oh, Father Vlad just got fucking executed. They
On
said to
radio,
weed.
right?
Yeah. Oh, was it? Was it on radio? I
I
can't
think it was
remember.
on radio. Yeah, I think Father Vlad got executed on radio.
Oh, okay. So like I said, our whole premise was like, I fucking like they sent me here as a message because they knew you guys were very close with Father Vlad, and then they come out with fucking guns pointed at me and shit, and they're like, "Oh, we disown Father Vlad. He's a bitch," or like, "Fuck him," or whatever. I'm like,
All right.
"Wait, what? Didn't you
What?
guys like this dude like 3 days ago?"
Yeah. Well, they had already had Father Vlad's second character in the group by then.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And a pack
Like
of
I said, I was
Daniels.
scratching my head. I'm like,
'Cause I feel
hold
queasy
up.
still.
I wasn't aware of this. And then I was questioning if I fucked myself or not.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of meta or something that happened there. That's the only way I can explain it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Cause
It's in the past.
yeah, they caught up with my character and executed him for something that could only. So my character was a nature photographer slash
Right.
documentary photographer, but
I saw that clip too, right when you posted it.
yeah, it's
Right
Serpico.
at the right at the construction site, right?
Yeah,
Right when you fucking logged back in. They all fucking were pointing their guns at you and shit. And I was like, wow.
yeah, it was instant death. Um, no questions asked.
But
Just
that's also
because,
like
just because I posted a YouTube video.
but like that's also the thing, like where is that power gaming, Like you just logged in.
Oh, dude, I argued with mods and SMCs. Took it up to as far as I can get.
Right.
Showed them my proof. And it wasn't enough. I was like, well, if we're gonna play by the rules, there's a
Mm.
specific rule set in place that whatever I post in media isn't public knowledge. That's not just because my
No.
character is
Mm.
a supposedly a wildlife photographer and maybe does documentaries doesn't
Mm.
mean everybody and their mom can see this. I mean, nobody can see
Mm.
this. It's just media. It's just promotion.
Right. No, I get that, and um, I don't mean to bring this up or anything, but like I've had issues with that like recent like a few months ago actually with the mods on kind of like the same topic. So I know what you mean.
You know, it's
And no hate to them, like no hate to the mods or anything. Like
oh no, fuck the mods. If you want to, I mean, go ahead. There's a couple of them that are don't know what they're doing. There's a lot of good mods in there, but
mm,
for the most part, I mean, I would say read the rules before they take over a conversation with absolute authority.
mm.
I would say read the rule book.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's frustrating, um,
Oh, for sure, man.
in some
Because you
cases.
play by the rules for 2 years, and then it slaps you right in the face.
Mm. Yeah, no, I'm the same way. Like I played, when the McFella bar or whatever was a thing in Trinars, or the coast. You know
Right.
about that. You played as Detective Hardy.
Ah, yeah, the McCarthy.
Yeah, the McCarthy bar or whatever, and played with those guys, and that was fun. Those were fun times.
What was
Get
right?
Coke and nail. If you're going somewhere, you got PBR the fridge.
Um,
No, I get what you're saying.
yeah, it's
I'm just saying
sometimes
not
I like.
not all
Sorry,
mods are equal or qualified or
I don't know. Yeah.
they can deserve a little bit of criticism. That's like they're not doing the job right. Because it is a
Mm.
responsibility when you become a mod. It's like okay, you got to dedicate a little bit more time. You got to commit now.
Right.
You essentially signed up for a volunteer job,
Mm.
so if you're gonna
And
do it,
that's
you gotta do it right.
yeah. No, I agree. I agree with that 100%. It's like I said, I like to make like kind of like comments about wishing that Grimmy was still around because
Uh,
I really like Grimmy as a mod. He did wonders for WR. I think he was
uh,
around. Do you remember Grimmy?
yeah,
I think he was a good guy.
it's changing. It's the revolving set, man.
Mm.
Month to month, it seems. Uh, like if you asked me, a year ago if Dink Dink was gonna be the owner, I would have said no.
I didn't even know who Dank Dank was a year ago.
All right, well we had him on the podcast a year ago because he was a good role player,
Yeah.
and I mean, you know how We That Remain is.
Mm.
Chernarus is a huge map. You can have multiple different stories and not get caught up in all of them.
Right. No, yeah. Um, it's it's hard. It's
Um,
especially, when you're invested in a server that long, especially when you're invested in over a year, or even 2 years, where you, you have nowhere else to go. Like you have and that's where I was when I went into W2. I'm like, hey, I got nothing fucking to play. I got no friends anymore. As much as that's like a loser thing to say, but like I got no one to vibe with, no one to talk with, no one to play
Right.
Daisy with. I got kicked out of this Daisy faction server at the time, and the like the RP server that I was a part of was the owner was on and off and all that shit and getting kicked off with administration team. I had nowhere really to go. So, going into We That Remain, I was like, oh shit. Here goes nothing. Is this just another RP server where everything goes to shit? like like all those other
Right.
servers before. And then I find out like I grew closer to a lot of these people on here and made some really awesome friends that I eventually lost, I guess, from RP, and that's unfortunate. But and it sucks to say, a lot of people don't understand. Like, hey, this is a character that I'm playing. This isn't me in real life. Like this
Right.
isn't. I'm not a jackass. And I don't. Unfortunately, I think people had grudges with that idea, and it's unfortunate. Like I've lost a lot of friends that I've made on WTR because of that. Um,
From playing a character.
yeah, from playing a character, and um, I feel like they had grudges against me out of character for those characters, and it kind of reciprocated into other characters, which is, like I said, very unfortunate. And I sadly had to make like tickets about it, make big deals about it, and that's where the whole mod situation is brought up on my point of view.
Yeah.
Like, I love a lot of them. A lot of them are cool, but yes, there is certain individuals that are, in my opinion, not so
Yeah, they come. I mean, what are they doing? Who knows?
great.
It's I don't know. It was weird. Some days you get like 30 tickets.
Dude, you cannot believe, especially like leaders and shit, being a leader, how many fucking tickets you had to go through every single day.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Especially with the Charlie character, I believe I was in a ticket like once every day, at least. It was bizarre. And I was like, fuck, like, ah. And then there's like people who are wanting to become leaders and all this stuff. And being a leader, I think it's easy when you're counting everybody's opinions into the RP, because I feel like everybody wants to have their input into certain things. And when you don't have that, I feel like that's when you're open to like dead RP and betrayals and
Yeah.
all that stuff. And
All right.
then you have grudges.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
It does.
And that's when you lose friends.
It's a silly game.
Yeah, it's still a game.
Yeah.
But you know how people are. And I can say the same for myself. I'd be a hypocrite for saying I haven't taken it out of games.
All right. Well, it's been fun, Isaac. I'm gonna wrap it up there, man.
All right, buddy. Yeah. I appreciate you having me on your podcast.
Yeah, no problem, dude. I'll see you later, bud.